Okay, so I thought we would read a little bit more of the Year of the Dog. So we started reading chapter 25 and got like a page and a half into it. So I'm going to actually read that again and then finish chapter 25, and I will read 26 because it's really, really short. So, Halloween at school. I couldn't believe the summer was over, but it was. The leaves turned as yellow as a Chinese pear, and the air felt like it came from an open refrigerator. Too soon it was time to go back to school. Lissy took the big bus to junior high school, and Kiki went with me to the bus stop. Kiki was in kindergarten now. My new teacher, Mrs. Pitterassi, was Mrs. Pitterassi. She was tall and had curly, short hair the color of cinnamon. Melody was in my class, and so was Sam Mercer. That made us happy, but Becky was in Mrs. Wynn's class across the hall. Mrs. Pitterassi had been Lissy's teacher, too. She remembered that. On my first day, she said, "Oh, I taught your sister Beatrice." Well, I hoped she didn't think I'd be good at math like Lissy was. Mrs. Pitterassi was a fun teacher. If your birthday was on a school day, Mrs. Pitterassi gave you a big lollipop. I was sad because my birthday was on a Sunday this year, so I wouldn't get a lollipop. But for Halloween, she let me draw a big picture of a laughing jack-o'-lantern, and she taped it on the window. Mrs. Pitterassi also said that we could have a costume contest for Halloween. That was exciting. She said we could all wear our costumes, and she would get some of the other teachers to judge who had the best costume. What should be my costume? I asked everyone. I spent a lot of time drawing myself in different costumes. I drew myself as a silver fairy, a princess dressed in velvet, an amethyst butterfly, and a green-faced witch, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to be any of them. No one helped me come up with more ideas. Lissy said I should go as a thing like her. That meant painting your face pasty green, putting on a shower cap, and wearing Dad's doctor gown. She always went as a thing. No one knows what you are when you go like a thing, I complained to her. That's why you should do it, Lissy said. You'll be the only thing in your class. I wasn't convinced. Being a thing was not my idea of a good costume. Most people were buying their costumes from the store. We went too, but I didn't see anything I liked. I didn't like the masks that came with the costumes. They were hard plastic with cheap colors and fake smiles, and you just tied the mask around your head with a rubber band. They didn't look real. I realized that if I wanted a good costume, I'd have to make it myself. But how? And what would it be? I could cut 2 eye holes in a sheet and go as a ghost, but that seemed boring. Besides, not only would Mom not like it if I cut holes in a sheet, but we didn't have any plain white sheets. We had ivory ones with printed coral red flowers and coffee-colored sheets with stripes and canary yellow ones with floating balloons, but no plain white ones. What kind of a ghost would have flowers printed on her? I kept walking around and around. Finally, when Kiki said she was going to be the Wicked Witch of the West, I got an idea. I'd be a black cat. I could wear Lissy's old black dance leotard, and I could make cat ears and tape them onto a headband. I could even draw whiskers on my face with Mom's makeup pencil. When I got home, I told Mom my idea. She agreed that it was a good one. We opened up Lissy's old clothes drawer and found the black leotard. I tried it on, and it fit. But we have to buy you new stockings, Mom said, holding up Lissy's old ones. These have holes and runs in them. I couldn't wait for Halloween after that. I made Kiki and Lissy promise not to tell anyone what my costume was. I didn't even tell Melody. "What are you going to be?" I asked Melody. "It's a surprise," she grinned and said, "What are you going to be?" I shook my head too and kept my lips tightly closed. It was so hard to keep it a secret. I could feel it wanting to burst out of me like a popping balloon. On Halloween, Mrs. Pitterassi let us change into our costumes. The girls went into the girls' bathroom and the boys went into the boys' room. I drew on my whiskers, colored my nose with the makeup pencil, and wiggled into my new stockings and leotard. But when I looked down at my legs, they were the wrong color. Bad luck. Mom had bought me navy blue stockings instead of black ones by mistake. I didn't know what to do. Should I take the stockings off? Then I'd be a black cat with pale legs, and I'd be cold. But now I was a black and blue cat. Who ever heard of a black and blue cat before? But without the stockings, it probably wouldn't even look like a costume. I'd look like a ballet student with cat ears. I decided to leave the stockings on. If anyone asked, I'd just say I meant to be a black and blue cat. It was fun seeing everyone's costumes. There were lots of monsters and ghosts. I was glad I hadn't gone as a ghost. Sam Mercer was Santa Claus, and he had made his beard from notebook paper he cut into shreds. Another boy was a robot made from a box covered with tinfoil. But the funniest one was Melody. She had cut a hole out of a laundry basket and put it around her waist. Then there were clothes filling the basket. I'm a basket of laundry, she told us. Everyone's desks were laid out for a party. At each desk there was a cup of apple cider, an orange frosted cupcake with black and brown sprinkles on it, some candy corn, and an apple. Mrs. Pitterossi was playing some creepy music. Some other teachers were sitting at the big table ready to judge our costumes. We paraded around them before we sat down. When they announced the winners, Melody won first prize. Mrs. Pitterossi gave her a blue ribbon and a huge lollipop with rainbow colors twisted into it. Sam Mercer got honorable mention and a bar of chocolate with a yellow ribbon on it. I didn't win anything. The judges must have noticed my blue legs. Maybe if my legs had been black, I might have won something. On the bus ride home, Melody let me lick the lollipop. You're so lucky, I told her. You won the blue ribbon, a lollipop, and you got to stand next to Sam Mercer. You're lucky too, Melody said. It's our lucky year, remember? You're the only one who won the ribbon, I said. So you're the lucky one. I looked out the window. I felt like one of the early falling leaves, brown and dried up and turning to dust in the blustering wind. I'm not lucky, I told Melody. I'm not lucky at all. That's the end of that chapter. Here's a picture of Melody as a laundry basket. That's a cute costume. We'll go right into chapter 26, a prize. After Halloween, we took down the jack-o'-lantern picture and hung up pictures of pilgrims and horns of plenty. I drew a big turkey with purple and red feathers, and Mrs. Pitterossi put it on the bulletin board next to the calendar. November, December, Melody counted the months. The year is almost over. I know, I said sadly, and I haven't found myself or my talent. I guess I'll have to wait until the next year of the dog. But the next morning, while we were all sitting in our seats, the loudspeaker crackled. It was a surprise announcement. I would like to congratulate one of our students, Grace Lynn, Mr. Hargraves, the principal announced through the speaker. Everyone turned around and looked at me. What had I done? Grace's book, The Ugly Vegetables, has won 4th place in the National Written and Illustrated Awards Contest for students. This is a great honor, especially since she was chosen out of more than 20,000 entries. Grace will receive $400 and a certificate for winning 4th place. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I had been tickled awake from a nap. Melody was bouncing up and down in her seat. The whole class was clapping. I had forgotten about the contest over the summer, and now I had won 4th place. Congratulations, Grace, Mrs. Pitterossi said. All my friends gathered around me, congratulating me. I couldn't wait to go home and tell everyone. At home, Mom and Dad were just as excited as everyone else. You said you'd cry if my book won a prize, I reminded Mom. Oh, yes, she said, and hid her face in her hands, pretending to cry. Dad put his hands over his face and pretended to. Kiki and I laughed. Lissy rolled her eyes. Can we stop now? She groaned. It only won fourth place. It won't get published. But it won $400, Kiki said. You're rich. Suddenly, like the last piece of a puzzle fitting into place, I realized something. I was rich. And not only was I rich, I had won a prize. I had talent as an author and illustrator. I finally knew what I could do when I grew up. I could make books. When I grew up, I could have a whole shelf of books, all written by me. I was lucky. Like a creamy chocolate in my mouth, a warm feeling melted through me. I smiled my biggest smile. I found myself, I told everyone. I'm going to make books when I grow up. Yeah, right, Lissy said. You'll change your mind. No, I won't, I insisted. You'll see. There's lots of time to find out, Dad said. There's no rush. Yes, there was, I told him. I had to figure out before the year of the dog was over. Oh, Dad said, laughing. Well, I'm sure all the dogs in the world are satisfied now. End of chapter 26. So, those of you who predicted that Grace or Pacey would win, what do you think? Were you right? We're going to have to talk about this one next time. All right.